one game on a ladder, you're going to have those spores there. But you're playing game number 3 against HerO, top 4 at Dreamhack, and he just DT'd you and you owned him. You are not expecting those DTs. So that was very tricky, very clever by HerO. We'll have to see if he can do that again in the next game.
Yeah, man, and I really like the way that we saw the maneuver with gateway units to begin with before DTs came in again. You know, he sent like 2 Stalkers and 4 Zealots onto the ramp of the main and the natural. So Red's focus is on his macro and also those units, and then DTs come on the third, and it's like, ah. And then losing the third base.
What's it like?
It's like, ah. But then when you lose the third base, it's really difficult to come from, right? I mean, and then at the same time, HerO, while killing a third base, takes his own third at like 9 minutes or whatever.
Red's going to be tossing and turning tonight. Well, he's going to be just having his wonderful little dream state, and then suddenly Dark Templar sneak up behind him. And it's just unpleasant. It's nasty to do, especially when you're a macro-focused player.
That's an easy way to go crazy, too, because he'll wake up, look behind him, and he won't actually know if there's a Dark Templar
well,
there
he's got no detection, obviously, so it's an absolute nightmare for him.
All right, guys, looks like we're ready over at the main casting desk, so take it away, Mr. Bitter and Day 9.
Thanks so much. Looks like it's time for Dream Alter. If you thought macro was fun in the first 3 games, it's time to really put it to the test in game number 4.
Is it just me, or does Apollo sound like he really likes losing third bases? I was like, ah.
Dude, you know what? Apollo's just a fan of teaching people good, solid harassment.
It feels so good when I lose my third base. Ah.
In the top right corner, we have the Dutchman who is on the line in this game. He needs to win 2 consecutive games to advance to the finals, where he can be in his best matchup. It is Liquid Ret.
And down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, his opponent, his teammate, up 2-1 in the series, Liquid HerO.
Liquid HerO, of course, going for that early expand yet again. Liquid Ret, you know, I normally would say he's probably going to go for the 14 gas, or 14 pool, and then just expand straight away. But Liquid Ret has recently been experimenting with getting an extremely fast layer. There's a lot of variety that can be thrown at you, and by rushing for infestors, interestingly, you can not only deal with it, but it also accounts for the fact that you have these giant rocks at your third base. Ret used to account for these rocks by just planting his third hatch here, and then his fourth one where the rocks used to lie.
Looks like HerO changing up his build a little bit. He's going to scout this time, and he's going to build a forge before Nexus. So being, I guess, a little bit mindful of the chance that Ret might have a read on what he's doing. Of course, Ret is instead just doing his normal build, 14 spawning pool, and most likely going to try to get a 16 hatch down.
Looks like Ret, yep, totally in autopilot mode, doing the exact same build he's done in the first 2 games. Ret, I still think, is clinging on to the confidence he gained from game number 2, where he built way more roaches than Liquid HerO could possibly withstand, and overran him despite all that early harassment. The pylon block does manage to prevent the drone from expanding. We'll see how Ret decides to play this off. Obviously, you could expand here, but it's pretty far away, and HerO is pretty aggressive.
This isn't a map like Daybreak where you can just go straight to your third and drop a hatchery in the middle of nowhere. It's a little bit further out. You're sort of inviting trouble if you go around the corner to the fourth, or over to even the 12 o'clock fourth base. And Ret still doesn't know where HerO has spawned, so he can't just go to 12 o'clock because HerO might be top left. He can't just go to 3 o'clock because HerO might be bottom right.
Liquid Ret now building just enough Zerglings to repel this one probe, and of course pick this pylon off. Love this hidden probe right here by HerO. Can begin building a pylon there. Having pylons spread around Dream Alter is always a huge help. It is nearly impossible to track down all of them. It's easier to get all 150 Pokemons than it is to find those pylons, Mr. Bitter.
Wow, that's a bold statement, Day 9. Even the initial scouting probe for HerO going to manage to sneak away untouched. So he'll have a couple probes out on the map, presumably, I guess, unless he goes all the way back home. Hatch is down for Ret, and what is he going to do? Looks like he's already working on these rocks over at the third base, so he'll probably want to get a pretty fast third. What I've seen Ret do in the past is put a hatch down right next to the rocks.
Yeah, the off hatch, the Android hatch, just trying to get ready to set up to retake that position. And it looks like, ooh, and he does manage to see just the hints of a probe. If Rhett was really on his game, he would absolutely send another set of Zerglings to take that out. This is what makes HerO so strong. He always plants down those pylons.
Yes, he's got probes in position to put pylons all over the place. Going to be so annoying. We can already see how he utilized that in the previous 2 games. He's always sending out probes early, dropping pylons here and there. We see this Ling looking. I think Rhett had a feel for that probe, but he's not going to find it unless he goes up onto that high ground. Still no third hatch. Oh, there's the third hatch. Is in the main base this time.
Yeah, I mean, Rhett will almost certainly be getting this 4th hatchery before he does much of anything else, and that is why we were saying that of all maps to test who's the better macro player on, this is the one to decide it. We see 1 Stargate planted from HerO. Ooh, we might see the exact same play again. But Rhett's going to have a much easier time defending with these creep tumors adjoining these bases.
Yeah, his bases are a bit closer together. They're all connected by creep. He's not going to have to worry too much about losing an expansion to something like Void Rays. Ling's also about to take out these rocks, so Rhett will be placing his 4th hatchery in just a couple of seconds. 4 hatcheries in 6 minutes.
Gosh, Rhett just loves the D button. Drones, why not build as many of them as we can? He's almost at 50 food. Has not even begun building a geyser yet. Just now starting them up.
Yep.
47 food. Those are so delayed.
Yeah, that's the latest gas I can really possibly imagine. Like, God, it's really pushing it, man, because he's got about 2 minutes before any kind of 6 gate's going to come, but can you really get enough gas rolling in that time to deal with that?
Does look like we see the Stargate play is incoming. Rhett incidentally built enough Zerglings because he needed to kill off the destructible rocks here to take the expansion. So now that these Zealots are on the scene trying to put pressure on, Rhett is more than prepared. Rhett, brilliantly getting that early evolution chamber. Again, if he's in macro mode, you really need to get those upgrades started early, and obviously it helps defend against that DT tech that's defeated him last game and the incoming Void Rays.
Yes, sir. And this time HerO hasn't started any upgrades at all, so he's going to set back on that. Putting on a couple more gateways, 3 more gateways. I'm surprised that he's not going to get +1. I mean, surely he'll start it. There it goes. Okay, there's +1. So that ground weapons upgrade starting up for our Protoss player. Rhett does find that probe hidden up on the high ground over where his 4th base will be. And where is the probe that was... Did Rhett kill the one at the bottom right, too?
Well, it's recently snuck on over to this
is.
pylon over here. Keep in mind, HerO does not do your average everyday
I know
harassment.
what's going on right now.
That is right. He is going to be warping in those Zealots directly into the main of Rhett. Rhett is perfectly prepared for this sort of air play. Has Spore Crawlers set up, Queens galore. Still holding that D button for drones, but once these Void Rays and Phoenixes begin doing the warp-in antics, I'm real worried for Rhett's chances.
Yeah, 4 gateways with Phoenixes. Twilight Council even going down in the back. He certainly wouldn't go DTs a 3rd time in a row. When this Void Ray shows up, HerO will be able to warp in on the high ground. We hear a couple Void Rays just picking off Overlords here and there. Rhett's not really supply block. Getting his first Lings and Roaches out, throwing down Spore Crawlers all over the place.
There, it looks like Liquid HerO does want to try to kill off this Queen at the 3rd base, but no. Some sloppiness, 28 hit points.
That Void Ray will live to fight another day. Rhett's Ling's speed just about to finish up. He will spot this probe, so that's going to mean no more pylons, at least for now. But this pylon is still in existence on that low ground, and a couple Phoenixes are going to come over here, give the vision needed to start that warp in.
This could be potentially brutal. If he heads to that backside, warps in just a few Zealots.
Templar Archives going down here.
Looks like, and this is such a great play by HerO. He's just going to begin stockpiling up those Zealots. He's just going to move through mid, nonchalantly rearranging all those Phoenixes.
That's right. When he reveals those Zealots, instead of it just being 4, it's going to be 8 or even 12 Zealots. It's going to be so much more difficult to deal with. Void Ray does fall.
Poor Void Ray got dropped right out of the sky, but the Phoenix count high enough to help keep Rhett's vision very low. Looks like we have 2 Gateway, 2 Zealot defense right there. And HerO is going to have to be very, very thin on his defense at this expansion. There are so many Lings of Rhett, and it looks like Rhett might deny the 3rd base, which has been such a common play. But here come the Zealots in Rhett's main.
Oh, and does Rhett have anything to bring back and deal with it? He's got some Roaches that are just idly sitting outside of his natural. Rhett does not seem to realize, oh my gosh, there's Zealots in my main. Now he's going to react. 3 Zealots, 6 Zealots going to come back. Lings are going to continue to try to deal with this 3rd base of HerO, but Rhett is just not controlling very well, and HerO defending his 3rd and attacking Rhett's main at the same time.
And it looks like the Roaches finally have cleaned up In that station, we see 16 workers have been killed off by Liquid HerO.
Ouch. Continued Ling pressure at the third base of HerO, but he is just warping in Zealots. That +1 upgrade is done. So the Zerglings being less and less effective.
And look at this mixture. I mean, Mr. Bitter, he's getting Templar tech. He's even getting the Zealot leg speed. I think we may see Zealot Archon Templar coming right up.
I think you are exactly right. We're going to see another Ling poke here. That is a lot of Zerglings, but there are a lot of +1 Zealots, and there's always the option to warp in more 6-7 gates there.
Oh, Rhett with a little bit of miss micro. Looks like these photon cannons will be deflected. Did get the sentries up. Kind of an interesting choice. Looks like Liquid HerO is just spending some of that gas right now.
A lot of Phoenixes out on the map here for HerO. He's got 6 Phoenixes. That's going to discourage any kind of Mutalisk switch. Going to give lots of map control, and they're still pretty dang good in the fight. The Roach count for Rhett's still very, very low. He's just making lots and lots of Speedlings, and I really don't understand this choice, Day9. He's just like, all right, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to hammer out Lings. Now, they haven't been working yet.
Well, looks like he is also slowly stockpiling gas because his Spire is now done. It is there on the left side of the map. Phoenix is continuing to move around. 4th base down. 4 Rhett. That will bring him to 5 hatches total. Liquid HerO trying to do as much harass as he can. Drones finally on the docket for Rhett's play. And HerO does have that Storm upgrade done. Has a few Templar out. Great way to deal with those Zerglings, but he needs to be careful. He doesn't quite have enough energy. He's at 72, 73, 74, and now he can Storm.
Lings do surround everything. Zealots and Templar are falling. I'm really surprised at how effective this attack was. More Zealots being warped in. Probe's going to be pulled. The cannon falling down. Rhett surrounds once again. And, oh, God, the Zealots with the upgrade are just so good, Day9.
Oh, I can't believe HerO missed those storms at the very last second, at the 11th hour. Could have thrown down a storm that would have turned the tide back. And now we have Liquid HerO, who's been thinking only of Lings, but there are 10 Mutalisks about to pop out of Rhett's main.
Phoenixes are out. HerO can Chrono Boost out more Phoenixes if he wants to. He doesn't seem to have sniffed out this Mutalisk switch just yet. More Ling aggression running around the map. This time they're going to poke at the front and find, nope, that's not going to happen. Two cannons and more Zealots at the third, going to make that very tough to defend. But you know, if the Phoenixes can be dealt with, Zealots obviously aren't going to do anything against Mutas.
And it looks like, HerO having a fun time with the drones up in the top side, but did he see the Mutalisks? The Mutas can easily poke down to the bottom base, deal a lot of damage. Looks like HerO did indeed see that there were some Mutalisks out on the field. He's just going to begin hitting that X button, building himself some more Phoenixes. And again, Zealot Archon looks like HerO's choice of units in this game.
Yeah, the Zealots and the Archon is going to be excellent against the Zerglings. The Mutas, Storm and Phoenixes are two things that really go. Muta's getting a nice couple of shots on those Phoenixes. 2 Phoenixes fall immediately. A third one going to fall. This is a turn of events that could really, really favor Rhett.
Rhett really needed that. That is putting him right back in the game. In that unit's loss tab, we actually see that HerO is the one who's suffering the majority of the hurt in this game. There's the Mutalisk play, but of course the Switchblade operated Phoenixes repel it with ease. Ooh, another Archon blast as well.
+2 ranged attack and roach speed finishing up as Rhett is switching big time into heavy roach production. He's already got 32 roaches out of the map. Lings again into the third base, surrounding cannons, and this time Rhett going to get a really nice engagement. The Archons and Zealots coming back. This is enough to usher Rhett on these ground units.
And at the north side, we see a bunch of Zealots have warped in due to a forward pylon, but roaches from Rhett stepping into the fray, and it looks like it will have to be a total retreat for Liquid HerO.
Lings and Roaches excellent against the Zealot Archon. The Roaches just do all the damage. The Lings soak up all the damage. And Rhett is just going to go for it here. A couple of storms going down. Not the best storms ever. There's a good money storm. And those Roaches are going to have to turn around.
And it looks like, gosh, how does Rhett have so many Roaches? Now has the target fire, this cannon. Looks like Rhett is just continuing to stream Roaches as we saw him do in matches prior. And with that one expansion down, Rhett is almost committed to an all-in.
Yeah, the 4th base was taken out by those Zealots. Rhett still mining in his main, his natural, and his third, but he's thinning in all 3 of those expos. More aggression down in the bottom of the map. The supplies right now still really favoring Rhett. 170 supply to just 130. I am so impressed with HerO's ability to defend with so few units.
And it looks like Rhett is continuing to pull back to kite as best he can. These Phoenixes helping to cut apart those units that are on the slow draw.
Charge lots, as we can see, do okay against Roaches. especially when supported by Phoenixes and Archons and Templars and Stalkers. Oh man, HerO's army starting to look scary. Rhett still really keeping up with that macro, sitting strong at 170 supply. He's just having a hard time making anything happen.
Looks like Rhett continuing to retreat, to pull back, trying to get up enough soccer count, but oh no, Blink is done. Looks like Rhett is forced to retreat. Rhett at 173 food. We saw him try to do a max Roach push in the last game, but it was unsuccessful, and HerO, who is now establishing his third base, once again getting a Warp Prism, getting
Templar
the +3
out of position.
Oh, it looks like another big storm, and now finally HerO is going to continue to engage, no longer defending, trying to pull back into the storms, doing a great job.
Nice storm, nice storm. Rhett finally starting to consolidate a little bit. He was running around and having a lot of fights that were kind of small engagements here, small engagements there, and losing those. Looks like he wants to try and make one big engagement. Clumping up those Roaches for the Archons, though. You don't want to do that. Killing a cannon and a couple of Archons, but he's probably going to have to back off once again. Is there any blink for these Stalkers? Yes, there is. Big forward blink. Rhett going to take a lot of losses here, Day 9.
Rhett has to do some kind of transition. He can't keep rallying Roaches here. Sometimes Rhett can fall into the trap of convincing himself that as long as he can never miss those larva injects, he can slowly pull ahead. But HerO having too strong a grasp with this matchup, that counter harassment, causing Rhett to completely fall apart. Now the passenger glands are finishing up. Lair is en route, Hydra Den, and fourth base, but HerO on his game.
Just refuses to let Rhett have a fourth base. Pylons all around the map. There is a Warp Prism over here at the natural of the top left base, so we can see more antics from there. Lings of Rhett's are running around trying to find fourth expansions. HerO did take a fourth down here at 6 o'clock. Rhett doesn't have any idea just yet.
It seems like HerO's theme is expand as much as possible, harass as much as possible. HerO's Pylon will fall. Liquid HerO is gaining more traction in the map. As we explore around Liquid HerO's base, we see that he has mined out in his main. He is continuing to just upgrade and get as many basic ground units as he can. He really needs to start stepping into that Dark Templar tech field so that way he can continue to apply pressure, even now that more map control and vision is on Rhett's side.
Yeah, both these players nearing a maxed out army. 182 supply for Rhett, 174 right now for HerO. We see 3 Zealots moving up into Rhett's third base. His army's not too far away, so this shouldn't do too much damage. We see the Roaches easily cleaning up the Zealots there. Where is the Warp Prism here?
Oh, it's on the right side. It's
2
sweeping
High
on
Templar
in.
and 2 Zealots in that Warp Prism.
There it is, starting to do damage to these drones. We see that the other Warp Prism is now maneuvering to the left side of the map. This expansion on the left could be in a lot of pain. It looks like Rhett is now responding by sending everything down there. Meanwhile, Warp Prism number 2 is just trying to tease an entry point.
Rhett doing a really good job of keeping his queen on top of that Warp Prism. The hatchery at the 3 o'clock position does go down there. Immortal will get cleaned up, but not before obviously knocking out that hatch. And that just hurts so bad. Rhett really needing that expansion.
Now looks like Rhett's superior force of Roaches might be able to get a favorable engagement. Hydros actually pick off the Warp Prism here, now pulling all the way back to the far side. He does have those Templar in there.
Pretty big army moving forward here for Liquid HerO, and there is going to be a bit of a fight. Roach Hydra Ling against Immortal Archon, and some awesome storms all over Rhett's army. Rhett backing up and burrowing. I like that maneuver. Burrow, of course, allowing those Roaches to heal up a little bit. In the main and natural, we can see Rhett is thinning so much. He is running out of money at every one of his expansions.
Oh, the Fleet Beacon allows the Protoss player to build a mothership, Mr. Bitter.
Oh, man, Warp Prism. Oh, big storm on some Hydras in the middle of the map. And we didn't get the best look at that. Warp Prism at only 8 hit points. Rhett really trying to get that Warp Prism out of his face. Phoenix is just kind of going to float into the third base over here. They're going to see a couple of Corruptors, and that is going to let HerO know that Rhett is working on the Broodlord transition.
Rhett still does not really have a fourth base up and running. That means Rhett is going to have essentially one swing at his opponent, and it's going to have to be all about that one attack. Rhett now getting the +2 attack to upgrade drones. Oh no, HerO spots this expansion is vulnerable yet again, and Rhett's units are caught out of position.
Man, this is just a trademark HerO. Never let Zerg take a fourth base. It seems like his play really revolves around this. Got some Zealots running up here into the third at the same time. Big engagement outside of Rhett's fourth. Storm's going down. Wow. Immortal getting some good shots on the Roaches. A lot of Storm. Blinking forward is HerO, and Rhett forced to turn around yet again.
And meanwhile, Warp Prism dropped in the third expansion. We see the Warp Prism is barely able to stay alive.
Oh, stacked up drones. Stacked up drones.
Stack of drones. Oh, he feedbacks the queen. Oh, a huge warp in the main. Another great storm. It looks like he's target firing. Oh, the Greater Spire. Oh,
the Greater Spire falls. With it will be Rhett's hopes. He's only got 3 Broodlords out right now. The Greater Spire does go down. HerO is so good at StarCraft. It's actually mind-boggling.
I cannot believe the 2 epic rivals, HerO and Puma, might meet in the grand final here. HerO now continuing to blink, not even giving a single slight edge to Liquid Red. He won't even let the drone get 5 minerals to go take home. He does steal candies from babies live. Liquid Red trying to establish control of the center. He has but a mere 3 Broodlords. HerO blinking forward. He will be able to pick them off, but there are a lot of roaches out right now for Red.
Man, HerO making such great use of every Protoss unit in his arsenal. He is going to blink backwards. Rhett managing to turn him around for now, but remember the Greater Spire was killed, so there will be no more Broodlords. Rhett's supply down to 120. HerO is on 3 mining bases right now and securing a 4th.
Meanwhile, in the main, the mothership at 145 of 160 seconds.
My goodness.
Starting to stream down to that southern expansion that has almost all of the probes of Liquid HerO. Rhett is putting a lot of eggs into just this one basket. The mothership is in on the map. There is no DPS mass unit here for HerO. Oh, wow. Archons coming out of nowhere. Liquid HerO.
The storms are so good. HerO is such a huge army, 152 supply to just 90. Rhett trying to find an opening somewhere, but there's the mothership.
Liquid HerO. There's the good game. HerO does it. He advances to the grand final.
It will be HerO versus Puma in the final. Liquid versus EG. Amazing games here, and what an awesome final we are in store for.
And Puma and HerO, such epic rivals. Puma was the one who knocked HerO down in the GSL. HerO's the one who knocked Puma down in MLG Providence last weekend. It is their chance to rematch, not in a best of 3, but in a best of 7, where we now will get the chance to really find out who deserves the title of being the better player.
Yes, indeed. Day 9. I almost called you tasteless.
I'm not Jan, I'm Marsha.
I'm sorry, Sean. We are going to have an interview up at the front of the stage with Artosis and our winner. So guys, do not go anywhere. Cannot wait to hear what HerO has to say.
Stunning play in that game, and there is your winner, Liquid HerO.
Come on, guys, let him hear how excited you are.
All right, so we have HerO here. He just took out an amazing Zerg Rhett. HerO, you finally made it to your first finals. How do you feel?
일단 여기까지 올 거라고 상상을 못 해가지고 일단 아직도 못 믿겠어요 지금. 네.
Well, I didn't.
Swedish people speak a lot of languages, but Korean is not one of them, all right?
Well, I didn't really expect to come this far, so I'm really startled right now, but it feels good.
All right, in those games, HerO, Rhett had some of the best macro we've ever seen from any Zerg, yet you still held on throughout, even though you were way down in supply. How do you do it?
그냥 요스 선수랑은 게임을 많이 해봐가지고 좀 공격적인 스타일인 거 알기 때문에 좀 수비적으로 그 프로스필드 잘 치면서 그냥 하면 돼요.
Well, as you already understood, I usually practice a lot with Red, so I'm quite aware of his game style. But Well, there's nothing much to say. I just try to good force fields and just try to micro intensively and just win.
All right, my last question for you, HerO, is Puma has amazing Terran versus Protoss. What is your prediction of this next match?
퓨마 선수가 되게 잘하는 선수인데 되게 친한 동생인데요. 재밌는 게임 아마 나올 것 같고 MLG에서 이겼었기 때문에 충분히 제가 이길 것 같습니다.
Well, he's a tough opponent indeed. We are very close friends as well. But I already beat him in MSL, MLG. I mean, I'm sorry. So I will probably win.
All right, well, we are going to go to a